Yeah, all cars now lined up for the first time here at Road Atlanta, here in semi-final action, as now we await for them to go racing here, and it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Kevin Ellis Jr. got away so strong as he now makes his way through the first section. Of course, he's got to find his way through now, past this dogged right-hander, down the straight, through towards the S's, and straight away, Kevin Ellis Jr. giving a nice tidy advantage at the front for ART, with Team Redline waiting in the wings in behind.
Yeah, a bit of a struggle on the start there from Marcel Cinczyk, almost dropped back into the clutch of those behind us, found his form though, two balls. Oh. That's a massive moment though, that is huge. Was that Dane Warren, or was that, yeah, it was Warren, out way wide, taking a lot of the gravel and just being sent up to the sky, losing out 8 positions in doing so.
That is the tough point on the track. The S's section can catch you out, and unfortunately, if you're Dane Warren, you have been caught out. Now sees himself just ahead of Thomas Tadler and Erhan Yovski, who also struggles right at the back of the field, trying to gain places, and it definitely is not just an uphill climb here at this point as they run up towards turn 6, but here at this point, not being in the top 6 here in this race format is obviously going to send you out of tonight's round, as we now see, a deep dive there, running very messily there, Robbie Stapleford, as he tries to defend the place. Dane Warren will take full advantage on the outside of turn 7 and snuffs it out from underneath him, as now we see wheel-to-wheel battling here between Stapleford and Thomas Tadler.
Watch out for the 3 wide. Here comes Yovski, making it down the inside of the first corner. This is surely going to end in tears. The Macedonian sends it through, up 2 for the price of 1, and Robbie Stapleford is sent down the road.
Yeah, he's having a real rough time out there. It's gone from bad to worse. Yovski, though, it's gone better for him. 2 places gained already. He's ahead of Tadler. He's ahead of Stapleford now, but needs to try and hold back the force from this heroic Porsche as they look to now make their way through the slalom once again. Heading down the hill now this time around, as we now see Dara McCormack currently sat in 5th place. He's got his teammate down in 8th as well, Jakub Brzezinski, who's going to try and leapfrog his way past Jeffrey Rietveld, who unfortunately sees himself just outside the top 6. Ryan Barneveld, should it stay like this, will go through to a final, which I'm sure he'll be delighted with. But Kevin Ellis Jr. impressing him at the front end, already half a second in front and keeping Luke Bennett behind.
Just going to say it, by the way, the top 5 at the moment, all 5 my picks to go through. I would quite like Jeffrey Rietveld to make a move on Ryan Barneveld for no specific reason, nothing against BMW and Team Beers competition, but I want to win. And here goes Jeffrey Rietveld straight down the inside from 10A, 10B, big slide there from Ryan Barneveld. Rietveld gets himself inside the top 6.
Yeah, we expected Road Atlanta to be chaotic. It has been that. Jakub Brzezinski now looking to make big moves too, to perhaps join his teammate Dara McCormack into the top 6. Has a little bit of work to do though, and could yet face jeopardy, as now Dane Warren, who is rapid, losing places at the very start. Remember when he made his way through the S's, as they now come over the crest, wheel to wheel again. It is literally rear white to front left as they make contact heading through the slalom, and now we see them come together. Dane Warren fighting back as he tucks down the inside. Porsche Commander in the ascendancy. Dane Warren, he's looking to get the bit between his teeth and force his car straight back up the field.
Yeah, I know that's only for 8th position, but can I just say, what an unbelievable move from Dane Warren. Great drive between himself and Brzezinski, showing the experience, showing the ability to race around here. I mean, it's a fantastic track. It is genuinely, it is in my top 5 greatest tracks on the entire planet. It can be a little bit tricky to race, but when you get moves like that, you have to earn them. You're never gifted this move. It's not just a big slipstream down into a corner and then you dive it down the inside. You have to work for the move, even coming down here into the chicane. Yeah, it is all about that slipstream, but you have to commit, you have to be brave, you have to send it in, and you have to take quite a lot of that curve, which, trust me, the curves on the inside of this corner are very risky. They will absolutely spin you around if you take too much. So we saw a bit of a look there from Thomas Tadler on the back end of Erhan Yovski. What a brilliant race there between the pair of them. Ellis Jr. though leading, and what I was going to say, Merc over BMW. We do see the BMW struggle a little bit for tyre wear towards the end of the race, and I fear Luke Bennett might be on the end of that unless he gets through pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely right indeed. He's closed the gap, Luke Bennett. Brought it into within, well, it's nearly 0.3 of a second away, so 0.2 gained already since we last looked. Kevin Ellis Jr. with the fastest lap so far, as well as they head through the next slalom section over the crest again. The scenes are where we saw Dane Warren make that fabulous overtake. Of course, that was also the point where he lost the car earlier on in the race as well, and has now had to enter into fight-back mode. He's right now, well, he's right behind Ryan Barneveld. Half a second separates them, but Barneveld's in trouble here because he's in P7, and that delta is going outwards. He could yet see him go outside a second from Jeffrey Rietveld in 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, to see him inside the top 6, to see him on the form, I think he's got to be very proud of himself, because he's clearly found a lot of speed coming into Road. On a track we've seen him go well at before anyway, fair enough. Yes, Joe being outside the top 6 would be disappointing. He was looking for a final. But to be honest, again, pace-wise, been brilliant so far. Here comes a move, Yovski versus Brzezinski. These two we've seen fight time and time again over on R-Factor 2. Doors open for Thomas Tatler to potentially sneak his way through in that heroic car. He'll be very disappointed with where he is. Obviously, he's inside the top 24 in the points, so he is at the moment going to Sweden. But he can't afford too many missteps. Another move coming from Yovski.
Yeah, absolutely. He also has to defend away as well from Robbie Stableford. Thomas Tatler as well in behind. Stableford, unfortunately, 2 seconds behind, so he's quite a way behind, but he's starting to try and garner that pace back as they enter the slalom S's section. There we see Thomas Tatler, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, maybe slightly frazzled. Has actually lost quite a considerable amount of time. Let's take a look at a replay here. Oh, that was the moment where Dane Warren lost the car altogether. Of course, though, he would get redemption at that same spot on track. It would lead to him elevating himself up the order and has garnered him that 8th place.
Yeah, honestly, that was scary. That was really, really scary. The thing is, normally when you see a car, go out that wide, they are allowed to go out as far as the cones on the exit of turn 5, which is very common around Road Atlanta. That's not just a rule that we've got here in ESLR1 or just for this competition, just here on Men's Sport. That is the rule even in real life. They're allowed to use that curb all the way out there, and then as long as they bring it back in the road, it's what makes it a cool corner, to be honest. But if you get a big bit of error, or you get awkwardly placed on the curb, generally speaking, you end up in that wall on the right-hand side. So he's got very fortuitous there that he's still in the race and still sort of has an outside chance of moving his way through. He's got to get past Ryan Barnabas and then close down what will eventually be, by the time he gets past, a 1.5 second gap. Maybe it's too large, but with Dane Warren's speed, I don't think it is. It's just he's not going to get too many opportunities late in the race if he does get past pretty soon.
Yeah, a little bit of understeer, I think, creeping into Ryan Barneveld there, as well as the BMW flies through the first sector. Just look at Dane Warren, speak about his quali pace. Of course, we've spoken that it definitely is his strong suit. Of course, now starting to show it here in a race format. Obviously, we saw him take race victory in yesterday's knockout phase, as we alluded to. Of course, being in race 2 of that night. Now coming back again, looking to try and force his way into the top 6. But Ryan Barneveld now dropping 10th by 10th away from Jeffrey Rierveld. And while this is the case, of course, Dane Warren, as a consequence, will also be losing delta as well. So he needs to get past his BMW if he wants to stand any chance of getting his way into the top 6. And we're on lap 6 of 12. Those laps, certainly around Road Atlanta, very fast-paced circuit here. They can fall away very quickly.
Yeah, it's insanely high speed around the circuit. The average speed is incredibly high because, I mean, this chicane here is basically the slowest you get onto the circuit, and it's not even that slow. It's a pretty quick chicane down the inside. Dane Warren's going to go, moving himself into 7th position. The inside line still being taken, almost a bit of contact between the pair of them, with the Porsche Coanda driver now up into 7th place. Needs one more to progress further on in this competition today, but I think they're all embroiled in a fight for 7th, and I don't think there is a chance of getting in the top 6. Contact between Brzezinski and Barneveld. They're both out in the barrier.
Absolutely, and an evasive action for Robbie Stapleford as well, who managed to dodge it so well. I mean, obviously, Jakub Brzezinski, credit to him for controlling the car to a certain degree to avoid the collision, putting the brakes on, obviously trying to prevent the collision between him and Robbie Stapleford. Stapleford taking evasive action. We rejoin, though, with Kevin Ellis Jr. up at the front end and has managed his race superbly well. He's still got Luke Bennett, though, probing in behind, though. The gap, though, has gone out. Remember, it was 3/10. It's now nearly touching 6/10, nearly doubled already. Lap 7 of 12 now. Chinchik also coming into the mix as well. But look at Dane Warren. The gap now 2 seconds separating him and Rierveld.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the moment, I think with the top 6, where we sometimes see it, like, when we go racing at like Hockenheim or Spa or whatever, we'll sometimes see those racing inside the top 6. I think this will actually kind of go back to how we were last season. Obviously before we introduced points being gifted out during the knockouts and semi-finals, I think people will not be wanting to take any major risks here. They'll want to take this one race at a time, get their way into the final. If you try and go side by side through here, at almost any point in the circuit, you are increasing your risk tenfold, and the chance of there being an incident is super high. I think everyone's pretty calm, and they're just excited about getting to the final here.
Well, it's been a thriller here at Road Atlanta. We've still got a small matter of 4 laps to go. And here at this stage, as we now see Joshua Rogers, still calm and composed. Porsche Coanda can enjoy at least one car going through into the final later on tonight. But of course, Dane Warren would love to make it too. He has actually started to poke around that delta. A little unsteady, though, as we now saw We just saw Joshua Rogers coming over the crest. There's Jeffrey Rietveld. As you can see on the bottom left-hand corner, still as composed as ever. I think just wants to bring the car home in one piece, just wants to make sure that at least he's in the top 6 and can bring himself into the final equation. It's been a very solid Team Redline run so far, with Luke Bennett doing extremely well in 2nd place after that stellar qualifying lap that put him on the front row of the grid before we hit pedal to the metal here in semi-final 1. As they make their way down the straight now, over the crest again, down the hill as well, just slightly. Just see them now all beckoning their way, all nose to tail, near enough. Though Darren McCormack now outside a second of Joshua Rogers here at this point as the Porsche. It seems to be going so well around this track here at this stage. As we now see Chinchik, or should I say Johan Jujowski, trying to close down on Dane Warren. His teammate currently sits, Marcel Chinchik, in 3rd place, which is good news for my prediction here, Lewis McGlade.
Yeah, what I was going to say, by the way, speaking of your predictions and what's concerning me the most in this race, with Jeffrey Rietveld starting to struggle again, maybe BMW tyres here, starting to struggle a little bit. Dane Warren closing in. If Warren gets through, that's 100% for you, 6 out of 6. So we'll all keep our fingers crossed for that not to happen. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're not panicking. But no, Dane Warren, yeah, I think he will have the pace. I think he will almost certainly get a chance to go for Rietveld here, but needs to have essentially a perfect run here. There can be no mistakes for Warren in the next 4 laps around Road Atlanta, which, by the way, is really difficult, even for the drivers at the very best. And I'm sure the heart rates are through the roof at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. We saw, obviously, many of them practicing around Road Atlanta and mustering in a lot of time, and they had to in such a short space of time. Only around a week to 2 weeks they've had of practice around this track, and obviously it does take certainly in many cases a long time to muster in optimal pace around a circuit. Here at Road Atlanta, where there's so much variance and obviously high-speed sections, it's very tricky to dial yourself in. But obviously, from what we've seen, the driver's doing a splendid job of managing that fact now as we see them take the in-swinger heading through towards the home main straight. There you can see now on our screen, Johan Jujowski getting right and tucked in behind the magnificent Macedonian, who has brought certainly some stellar results for RAG, looking to join Chinchik up into the top 6, but now on lap 10 of 12. It only leaves a small matter of 2 laps left to go here in this race. And Dane Warren, he's going to be a great wall. But look at the gap between Warren and Rietveld, 1.4 now. 5 tenths leaking away from Jeffrey Rietveld, and Warren starting to get on the attack.
And is it your birthday, George? Because I've just been given a bit of information which might be considered a birthday present for you. Jeffrey Rietveld has a 1 second time penalty, which will be applied post-race. So Dane Warren, if he wants to go further in this competition, he needs to get within that 1 second. It's 1.3, he's 3 tenths outside it at the moment. He could progress, and I'm pretty sure he's well aware of that. I'm pretty sure Johan Jujowski is well aware of that. He will want to get past Warren and get within a second of Rietveld and progress his way through into the final. That is a tall order if ever I've heard it. We'll have to wait and see though, but that gap currently sitting at 1.2 seconds. 2 laps left to go. It's going to grow in that middle sector slightly, but it's going to come back in the final sector is what we're seeing here. This is going to come down to thousandths, I believe.
Well, what was 1.2 could become 2 tenths. So there we have it. Dane Warren with a great chance here of ascending into the next round. Let's wait and see, or certainly the next race indeed, the final race of tonight to decide who will be round victor here at Road Atlanta. There's Jujowski, who will know that as well, I'm sure. I'm sure Mehdi, the team boss, would have got in the ear of him and said, listen, you've got a great chance here. Just need to get yourself past Dane Warren and to within a second of Jeffrey Rietveld, and you could yet go through, as now we see them come over the crest. Josh Rogers right on the tail now of Marcel Chinchik. So RAG and Porsche Coanda battling at 2 different zones in the classification. Nevertheless, it's going to get a lot hotter than this.
Yeah, certainly so. Let's see if Rogers is going to try anything here on Marcel Chinchik. I think the idea of a race victory for anyone else other than Kevin Ellis Jr. has absolutely slipped through their fingers. Ellis Jr. is flying at the moment, looking for his 3rd victory in ESL R1. Here comes a look from Marcel Chinchik. Luke Bennett starting to struggle just a little bit, and straight around the outside, that is going to be a move from Chinchik into second. I don't think Bennett was risking anything majorly there.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, but look at this. Oh, goodness me. Josh Rogers very nearly lost it all, coming over the crest and nipping onto the grass. But as they make their way down the straight again, ahead of him, Luke Bennett as well, all fingers and thumbs as he looks to try and bring the car through this next right-hander. Of course, he's got Chinchik ahead of him here in 2nd place as they look to make their way through. Bennett losing out big time as Chinchik consolidates himself in P2.
Yeah, I don't think Rogers, by the way, was as calm as he looked in his webcam. I think that one's frozen because he looked like he wasn't moving at all. And I'm not even joking. I think it was absolutely locked in place. Things getting dramatic for Jeff Rietveld because at the moment he's now dropped back to 9/10 of a second clear. I think he's going to be dropping back behind Warren at the moment as Rogers is feeling the pressure from it. Darren McCormack, of course it is.
Yeah, Darren McCormack now only 2/10 away and starting to try and pull himself together. And you see him in the bottom left-hand corner. Point speed prizes. The higher you are up, the better points you score. And that's certainly what's on Darren McCormack's mind, certainly on Williams Esports' mind as well, as they make their way down the straight once again and for the final time here on this lap. Certainly the final time in this race as they make their way now down through towards the final chicane here on this circuit. They beckon their way through, but Luke Bennett will have no way to certainly try and challenge this. Jakub Brzezinski right to the tail of the field as they now make their way around the crest. This man, though, I'm sure will celebrate. He is not only a 4-time podium sitter, he's not only 1-time a race winner, he's 2-time a race winner. It's Kevin Ellis Jr. who takes victory here. And what a courageous drive from this young man. It all started with a vibrant pole position. He then closed it out in truly clinical fashion. Apex Racing Team Mercedes can celebrate here in the United States with a stellar result for their man. It's Kevin